is the Warp Pipe Rental.
What game you ready for the weekend?
All right, so each week we are going to pick a game for you guys to play along with us and then discuss it, essentially. So this past weekend we had shows Mega Man, the original Mega Man on NES. Certainly a good one to rent for the weekend. We'll kind of dive into our thoughts and everything on that. But I want to showcase, got to showcase this terrible box art. Initial thoughts on the box. Just looking at the box art, what are the initial thoughts?
Throw that up again.
I would have.
Well, now
I would have picked something else.
I mean, if memory serves me correctly, the story behind it is they were really cut on time, and the illustrator didn't have all of the information. They said something about like having a gun or something like that, like to that nature, and that's what he had come up with. And like I said, I think they were just pressed on time, and that's what got rolled out.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
even.
believe that's right.
I feel like the proportions are off too a little bit, like how he's drawn. But I mean, I guess if we need this Monday and it's
Right.
Saturday, who knows how fast it was like the turnaround they needed it.
And he doesn't even have a blaster.
Right, he's holding a gun instead of his arm cannon.
Right.
It's like they didn't give him a copy of the game or just be like, here's the game to play to get a feel out. No,
nothing.
I don't get any information, like you said, like no idea what was even happening. Just probably like a short synopsis, and probably wasn't even done by the person that knew what the game was doing anyways, right? So
Right.
Yeah.
So you would be at the rental store, right? Looking at this box art, seeing if you would want to rent it for the weekend.
I'd probably say no way, man. Look at that guy. It's derpy.
like even the background, like what is going on in the background here?
Well, it seems like maybe
Palm
these are
trees.
like platforms that he's maybe jumping across, and palm trees up there for some reason, and I guess a fortress in the background with some explosions.
Well, I'm guessing that's Dr. Wily's castle.
Possibly, yeah. Let's see what the description has to say on this game here. It does say it's a Captain Commando challenge series. So Captain Commando was like Capcom's mascot, so to say. It's Mega Man versus the powerful leaders and fighting forces of Monsteropolis. That strange multi-layered land of robot-like humanoids created by the wrongfully performed experiments with human beings by Dr. Wily. Mega Man, the chosen defender of the human race. For he dares to single-handedly penetrate Monsteropolis, 7 separate societies, to stop a rapid expansion of strange misrepresentations of humans. Mega Man's goal is monumental. He must infiltrate 7 separate heavily guarded empires by himself. He must break down and destroy the following of Emperor leaders: Cutman, Gutsman, Iceman, Bomb Man, Fireman, Elect Man, and Dr. Wily. The actions involves Mega Man armed only with laser beam weapons, encountering strangely configured humanoids. They're atop in and out of fortified prison-like structures strengthened with thick walls. Below ice fields, hidden armed turrets embedded in concrete uprights, even the subterranean past stages under ice fields. Wow. Will you and Mega Man penetrate the 7 separate societies of Dr. Wily and preserve the human race? You're in control.
Why did they have to use the word penetrate twice on the back?
Like it didn't feel right while you were saying it. It just didn't feel right.
I had to emphasize the pen and this again with these descriptions, like they had the 7 separate societies with the SSS, like
if anyone was listening and just listening, they're not listening anymore.
Good.
Did that make
God.
you want to rent the game, or did it want you to pass it by?
Right. I feel like, I mean, with the description, us reading those and trying to get a sense of what the game is about, and they're using all
Mhm.
these crazy big words and all that.
Yeah.
I think as a kid, you just kind of read a little bit of it, but you're mainly trying to look at screenshots, which they only have one screenshot, and it's of all the bosses, like the menu select screen, essentially.
Right,
So
right.
it doesn't give you too much to go off of like what's this gameplay look like. Because the cover, you're like, okay, and then you go in the back and you're like, well, that doesn't show me gameplay. It's just who I can face off with. So you really
Right. So
take a chance.
it's not even showing you Mega Man. Like, it's
No
not even
idea
showing
what
you
you're
the
going to be
hero of
seeing,
the game,
right?
so you don't even know what you're gonna look like.
Right.
Especially for the very first one of the series with no background, unless you heard about it at school, right? You look on the back of that
Right.
cover or that box, you're like, what is this? What am I going to be doing?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So what did you guys initially think about the game, Keith? What was your thoughts playing through? Did you get too
My
far? What?
initial thoughts were,
Yeah.
why is he so slippery? Like, he needs traction aids. Mega
Oh, right.
Man
Yeah.
literally needs traction
Yes.
aids. He is all over the map. The jumps were hard to land because I would just slip off. And then when I
Hmm.
got to the point with the platforms that do the
Oh, that
drops and
fall. Yep.
stuff,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
that was the Gust Man, I think it was. That or Guts Man. That was hard.
Guts.
Like,
Yep.
Mm.
thank goodness the level wasn't much longer after that. Because if there would have been another set of that, I probably would have given up.
I would say
But
that the levels are not that long. Um, it's definitely challenging, and I do agree with you with this with the slipping. Now, remind me again, you guys. It does he have that? I don't recall him being that slippery in later games.
Yeah, I feel like it's a slight, but not as much as this.
not
Like
like
I'd hit
that.
some
Yeah.
platforms
Okay.
and I'm like, whoa, like this isn't a
Yeah.
nice level. Like,
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Because that I fired it up, and the first level I went to, I think, was Cut Man, and I'm like, this is totally not a nice level, but I seem to be freezing like I am now on the screen. I don't know. But I was slipping all over the place, and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was weird. The one thing about this game, though, that we had talked about when we picked the game is that this was the only Mega Man that has the scoring system.
that's right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you would now here's a question for you, because I obviously, as far as how long I got into the game, I did not get very far. Okay. But my question is, um, I noticed when you picked the level, it would tell you what your bonus points would be once you
Hmm.
beat the level.
Yep.
Now, is that based on the difficulty of the bosses or the levels? And so, if that's the case, does that mean that that's the order that you should be playing them in?
Like,
I don't
there
know.
is a
Yeah.
certain order you kind of need to follow too, because you get to a certain point and you need certain items, right? So
Right.
I think
I'm just wondering
maybe a
if
little
that
bit pushing you in that
scoring,
direction.
yeah, maybe the scoring for the bonus gives you a little hint of maybe
Where
what
to
level
go?
to play
Yeah.
first, second, and so
Oh,
on.
these
Yep. And then every time you jump, right? Or no, it's
every
when it
time
hits
it
the
hits that
little,
little space right
yeah,
there.
Right.
yes,
But then
yes,
it's
yes.
moving at the same time, so you need to like jump ahead of it. And then when you
And
get to this end piece here, so you need to have momentum when you get to here to make this gap even.
you're
Right.
So,
slippery.
oh,
Uh, some notes I had
yeah.
put. There's no cutscene after you get the weapon. Like that became a staple.
No,
Like you
it
just grab the
just
weapon.
Right.
It
Yeah,
just goes straight back to your selection screen.
correct.
And also when you go through the boss door in later Mega Man games, you see the nice steel door. You're like, yes, I'm at the end. In this one,
Yeah.
you go through it. You still have two screens to go through
yeah.
before you actually
Yeah.
fight the boss. So you could still die.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
thought that was kind of like,
And
geez, let me
there
get
is some
through.
hard ones in between too, right? Like I think
Yes.
it's a Elect Man,
Hmm.
like because you got to climb up, and there's
Right.
the electricity zapping across. I was good
Mhm.
until there, and then all I was like, oh well, let's start over again here right away.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There is, I think the preferred order, and I have this written down. So, Bomb Man, Guts Man, Cut Man, Elect Man, Iceman, Fireman, and then you have to battle them all again when you're in Wily's Fortress. Or you can move
Mhm.
Bomb Man to the last one, I think, is the other option that a lot of people do.
Okay.
So there is an order, and you can get like the magnet weapon by
Right. Yeah, I
doing
did
it
list
in a
that
certain order, right? Yeah.
because you can't get the magnet weapon unless you have Gutsman's ability. So I actually beat Elect Man stage, and then I went back after I beat Gutsman to Elect Man stage. And this came up too. This was another thing was if I remember correctly. So when I got to the end, I actually had to fight Elect Man again. I think in other Mega Man games, like you get to the boss room and then you're done. Like you warp out. At least in Mega Man X. I'm not sure if there's any backtracking in Mega Man 2 or this and that, but I was like, I spotted the little weapon and I was like, how do I get that thing? I want that.
Hmm. Yeah. See, there's the
Like,
clear points.
yeah. I do remember renting this as a kid and being like frustrated because I couldn't make it anywhere because it is pretty difficult, right? Like, and then with him being slippery like that. But I remember the levels and I remember the little enemies and the sprites on the enemies. Some of them are really cool looking, especially when this was our very first experience with a Mega Man game and the
Mhm.
look of it. Like, I think they did a really good job on the sprite work. The controls could have been a little bit better, but it's a pretty good game. And the music is nice because I died so many times in the playthrough I did of it that I never got sick of the music. It was never like, okay, I've listened to this enough. It was still good all
Yeah.
the way through. So I like that about it, music on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I don't think it's as hard as I remembered. Um, I have not fired this game up for years. I don't even know how many years. 30 years, I don't know. I don't play, I mean, Mega Man 1 is not my typical like go-to Mega Man game to play, so I don't really, take it out to play very often, but not playing a Mega Man game for a while, I popped it in, and I would say it is average hard. I don't think that it's like what everyone calls Nintendo hard. You know what I mean? That's my opinion of the difficulty. What do you guys think?
I think it gets there. Like, I think that
Spe-
last level,
yeah, I say especially in Wily's Castle, it
yeah,
amps up and you're like, oh, geez.
because you got to
Really got some
beat those
practice to do.
bosses all over again, right?
Right.
They did give me the enemies did drop some one ups here and there too,
Yep.
so
Right.
that was helpful as well. And of course, it has the password system. Or wait, is it the password or is it just to continue? I
This
can't
is
remember.
infinite continues, I think.
Infinite continues,
But
and
you
then you
start
could
at the
choose,
start of the level. If you die, lose
Mhm.
all your lives.
or you could go to the select screen,
Yeah.
and you could select a different level to play from that
Yeah.
point.
Right.
So
So
that
what are
was
we
nice.
what are we rating this out of 5 stars, would you say?
I'm gonna go with 4.
Okay. Wow.
I'm gonna go with
Yeah.
4 only because
I
it was not as difficult as I remembered. It was super fun because the music makes it fun. It's got the infamous Journey ripoff song. If you guys don't know that, I think it was in was it Alekman? I think it was Alekman stage. Um, it's notoriously known as a ripoff song of Journey.
Okay.
Um, I forget what song it was. I think it was I don't know. You guys could look it up. I'm on the spot right now and I don't want to take up too much of the other guy's time. So, but yeah, I would say I'm gonna go 4 around there.
What about you, Keith?
Ah. I think I'm a 3, but I'm leaning to a 4
Oh,
just
okay.
because the music was good. I think I agree, like, the start playing through it now as opposed to my memories of it as a kid, it was frustrating, but I feel like it was doable. It probably would take me 2 or 3 hours to maybe beat it,
Yeah.
but I feel like it is doable, and again, I love the sprites in a Mega Man game. I love what they did. I
Hmm.
mean, I think I'd give it a very, very solid 3, almost a 4.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So like 3.5.
3.5.
3.5 of a penetration. Yes. I penetrated the last level that I needed to penetrate.
I think we've talked too much about that. This is a family show.
Good God. I'd probably stick just with a straight 3. I enjoyed the improvements that they made from Mega Man 2 on to make it more enjoyable. But we want to hear what you guys had to say about the game. We made these posts on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube community page, and we'll see what you guys are chatting about that. Let's see here. Bring up the Instagram. I think Keith's gonna take this one here.
All right, we got Bull Airs official. I remember having this box and saying WTF is with his face. And also saying as an 8-year-old, they should hire me to draw it and meaning it. Amazing game. With some of the shoes that they're pulling off of there, yeah, they absolutely should have hired you at 8 years old. I agree completely.
And
Lopez.
Tom at Bolaires was also a tattoo artist, so he is a fantastic illustrator.
Right,
Well,
absolutely.
If we ever get that DeLorean fired up, Russ, we'll go back and get Tom hired on. Lopez drummer Lopez. No, I've never played the first Mega Man game. Been playing Mega Man 2 and 3.
Okay,
Well,
yeah, the better
no
ones in the
time
series.
like the present, right? To go back and punish yourself, Lopez. Custom NES guy. Yeah, I remember falling through those moving platforms with the eyes that shoot, just falling straight through them. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
they're
and the
like
rest of us,
spinning
for
spinning
sure.
tops or whatever. Yeah, I got to there and I was like, Jesus, this is tough.
All the platforms. I think I fell through every platform. All of
Every
them.
platform, all of them. Let's see, guys on Facebook. You were saying, let's see.
Got a couple comments there on the Facebook page.
Yeah. So if you don't follow us on there, the weekly Warp Pipe, scroll down here. Here
we go. We got a screen grab there.
Oh, I'm going to need to squint for this one. Mega Man is probably my least favorite of the 6 on the NES. The controls are just a bit off and slippery.
Mm-hmm.
IMO, in our opinion, I believe they're slippery too, which leads to some unfair deaths. Yeah, a lot of unfair deaths for sure. Not a bad game though, and spawned an absolutely amazing series. Matthew Durkin also adds, and this post made me want to give the game another go. Fun game, but very frustrating at times. And it looks like made it all the way through. So
yeah, so he
that
beat
would have been a lot of frustration.
Good on you, Matthew. Congratulations.
Right? No doubt. Ryan Avery Summers says, I didn't grow up with the NES Mega Man games. I started diving into the games not long ago. All I can say is that I understand where the term NES hard comes from. Enjoying them so far, but really challenging. This is definitely one of those games that coined that NES hard. This and Ninja Gaiden, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Really pushed it home for NES hard.
I think if you compare the two, though, Ninja Gaiden way harder
like,
than Mega Man.
Oh yeah, it cranked it to 11 for sure.
Yes.
We got our YouTube community page. Hey, look who's here.
NES Addict says, my only memory of any Mega Man game growing up was playing them with my friend McQueen Rampus at my friend Queen Rampus's house. Shout out to, and we've got pronunciation here, McQueen. Oh, McEwen.
Oh, that's how you say McEwen.
Okay.
Thanks for the correction on my pronunciation.
Nice.
Mike, I'm going to butcher this. Naru 241 says, I remember the night I beat it. I love this game, but was frustrated I couldn't get past the yellow devil in Wily's Fortress. Yeah. I finally did and finished the rest at 3 a.m. Great memories. Can you imagine being that age where you could stay up to 3 a.m. and have great memories of being up till 3 a.m.? I need like 4 days after
Wow.
recuperated
Yeah,
after that. Rogerholic16 says, "What's up, guys? Glad to have the weekly warp pipe back, or glad to have the warp pipe back. As a kid, I somehow missed the Mega Man series, even on the Super Nintendo. It wasn't until I brought the mini SNES a few years back and I played the Mega Man X game. Since then, I went back and played through 1 to 6 on the NES.
Nice. There you
Nice.
go.
That's pretty awesome to be able to say you've done all of those. That's impressive.
Yeah.
DNick55 says, I don't have very positive memories of it. I remember being so frustrated with the controls. And to add the difficulty aspect, I'd have to take breaks. Might have been my first ever rage quit. I rage quit like 5 times tonight, let alone my first one.
Can I just say, like, I love all the comments. That was great.
Yeah.
There's so many of them up there. I'm so glad that you guys like took part and played along with us. That's great.
And let us know, David, what we'll be playing next week in case the viewers want to participate.
So next week's game, guys, you can get a jump start on it. You Saturday morning, go out, rent DuckTales on the NES. Classic game, super fun. Make sure you play the moon theme over and over and over again. And then we'll leave a comment on all of the pages. Let us know how you guys did, what your memories are of it, and we'll read them on the show next week.
Yeah, and we're going to be, I mean, the podcast comes out on Saturday, but if you are following our social medias, we are making these posts Friday night. We'll let you know the game essentially that you can be playing, so you get a little ahead. And then Sunday night, we'll make our follow-up post, kind of like what were your thoughts and whatnot on that, and you can leave some comments there. So
great.
Again, shout out to David. Thanks for you're doing a really great job. I'm really enjoying the posts you're putting out. I think you're doing awesome.
I'm doing the best I can, man. It's taken me quite a bit of time, but I'm getting there and I'm getting a little streamlined. So we'll see how things go.
Perfect.